All right. We're live, fresh, getting himself post-game beverage.
Yep.
Have in the house. Maybe Mark will join. After that performance, he probably won't. But would you say that's a blowout loss? It's a blowout loss.
Yeah, at home by
20 at home.
Yeah, not a great performance in the second half. 20 points.
What was the final score?
70-50.
Yeah, 20 points at home is 30. So, yep.
That was ugly. I mean, let's just go down the stats real quick. IMAC 13, Rhodey 16, Saunders 12, Kofi 5, and then Tane and Sharma with 2 each. So Blake, Day, A-Rob, TJ Powers, 0.
Yeah, that does not add up to a lot of points, does it?
It does not add up to a lot of points. And they scored 70, right?
Something about Virginia basketball. I was thinking about it. I'm not sure I've ever written it or told you guys. When you see a guy kind of go off, right? Like when IMAC has his flurries or Rhodey today, you're like, dude, he must have 25 or 26. No, he's got 13 or 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. It's not as
like
dominant as it feels.
Yeah, it's not like the kid Clayton Jr. for Florida today who was going off and he had 33. Or what's his name? Brea for Kentucky. Yeah. So it's a whole different, and that's pace and possession and all that, but that's a different discussion. I'm not ready for it right now,
What are your initial reactions when we lose a game like this? Is it obviously anger, but like what do you think is the issue here? I'll let you start. You usually have good takes on this.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to start with I don't think we devoted enough time to Chucky Hepburn's hair because it's literally a national treasure. It's one of the best, worst haircuts I've ever seen.
It's like the LaMelo Ball look.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of got the Lamont from Sanford and Son, if you can remember back in the day, but with the splotch. No.
Splotch.
Look, this was a tough one. I think if you were to rank issues for us, number one for me and Fresh, and I think TW are on this, when you're down 13 or 14 points with 3 minutes left and you're jogging the ball up the court, that's a problem. When you're down 14 points with 2.5 minutes and you don't have any kind of press,
right?
Anything to speed up play to create turnovers. It's sort of like you're almost saying, I'm okay with losing by 18 or 20. I just don't want to lose by 30. But if you want to win and you get a couple steals and knock down, 2 or 3 threes, all of a sudden it's a 8-point game with 2 minutes left, which is, we've seen that a million times. I feel like we are unprepared for traumatic / high pressure situations. And, whether whoever was bringing the ball up, whether it was Rhodey or Day, we're down 16 with like 3 minutes left. We should be racing down the floor, trying to drive and kick. And we're getting into blocker mover and inside triangle. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why there's no urgency. So that's number one. Number two is offensive rebounding has plagued us from, I don't get why we're such a bad, typically teams that are poor at offensive rebounding want to run. So guards are leaking out. We don't want to run. Our guards are trying to box out. But for some reason, we're just really, really bad at it. And there will be games when there are, and Fresh mentioned it, it's hard to rebound threes. Lousiville shoots a lot of them, but it's too many games in a row and we're just getting destroyed on the boards. I mean, we were 2 or 3 in and outs against NC State from having that game be tied after taking a commanding lead. We've got to be able to rebound better. But those are the two things that stick out to me is the lack of urgency when, urgency is called for, and the lack of our ability to get an offensive rebound because it killed us today.
Yeah, our leading rebounder was Tane with 5, Rhodey with 4.
Wow.
Yeah, those are like rebounds that like
The long rebounds, yeah.
the long rebounds, right? We're not like boxing out, putting bodies into people, sealing off that interior, and going up and grabbing the ball like so many of our teammates did. Fresh.
That's right.
What are your thoughts, Fresh? Tough.
It just, we get there and they go, and then we get there and they go, and it just felt like we had no solution answer, which beyond the coach or the players, the scheme, whatever, that's most disheartening to me. Like there was no chance we were winning. And you can't
didn't feel like it. I agree.
You can blame whatever you want, but there's no blame. There was no chance we were going to win this game today, right? As you saw the game progress in the second half, it wasn't going to be a miraculous avalanche, as we call it, or great defensive stands. They had more, and they were better prepared or better personnel or whatever it was. We were not going to win.
Yeah, it seems like we needed threes, really. That was really the only thing we could have maybe done.
Sure.
Hit a bunch of threes. I mean, that's hardly reliable long term, but it seems like, yeah, that not feeding Saunders and getting easy buckets, we didn't touch the paint nearly as much as we did versus NC State when we went on that run. It was like everyone was getting into the lane, everyone was kicking it out, and like there was some cohesion there. Tonight, I'm sure Louisville had a lot to do with that. They were big, long, athletic players. Probably made it a lot more difficult for our guys to get in the lane, but that seemed like an issue.
I just on the defensive end, though, for us, it was just a wave of Louisville. Whether it was a three or an offensive rebound or the guy catching lobs, we had nothing. There's nothing we could do about it. It was like a different division playing in a game in my mind, the way I watched it.
So A-Rob got some time in the second half. What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
Not enough time.
No, you go.
No, he just wasn't good. You put him in the second half, things are going wrong, and he's not going to fix it, obviously, right?
Right.
We all said we would have liked him in the first half when the guy had 3 or 4 lob dunks. After one, probably maybe 2, like at least do him there and let him get his feet wet and then see what happens in the second half. But he made no difference today, like for whatever reason.
Is this one of those things where we need to just play him to get the experience so that he's better later? And right now we're playing Blake more because of what Hav said. He's got the experience, so he's getting to play, whereas A-Rob doesn't have the experience, so it's kind of like double whammy. He doesn't get any additional experience to get better.
So let's go back to last year. Who's our big guy that transferred in who didn't play at all, like the first 15 games, and then what's his name?
Jordan Minor.
Yeah. So like, it's not like there's not precedent here, right? So can A-Rob be Jordan Minor? Maybe a version of him where he went from, I think it was the Wake game, and I said, if he doesn't play this game, he's not going to play the rest of the year. He didn't play. And then the next game, he started contributing. I feel like we kind of crossed that line with A-Rob where he was starting to get a little run. I just don't understand. It's not like there is a superhero in front of him who is scoring at 3 levels and blocking shots above the rim. Like, you got to do that. But I think that's a minor concern for me right now. The bigger concern for me, and this goes back to Fresh. You played your whole life, TW. You played at some point, in Charlottesville, youth league, dominating. You're a big dude. So like when you're down by double-digit points and there's 2 or 3 minutes left, even in CYO, even in youth league, they will press. They will put something in there to try to create turnovers. Now, if the team is well coached, it leads to a bigger victory margin. If they're not ready for it, you get some turnovers. Maybe you cut it to 12 or 9. Like, we just don't have a gear when we're down. The fact that we were running offense down 12 or down 14 with like 150 left is like mind-boggling to me. That's
right.
That's mind-boggling. I just don't get that. And if I were a reporter, and it's my dream one day to get a press pass and go in there and ask the questions that the media should be asking. Number one, what's up with Christian Bliss? Is he out for the year? Yes or no? It's like it's not an answer. It's a yes or no. That's number one.
Right.
Number two is
untouched upon. The only point
why didn't we go to a press? We had to create turnovers. We had to speed up the game to have a 5% chance of getting back in the game, then fouling, then the guys miss free throws. Like, crazy things happen. We just abandoned that. We're like, let's run inside triangle with 1:50 left, down 16. Like, what are we doing?
My biggest gripe is that in games like this, and most games actually, it feels like we're just practicing. We're practicing what we want to do, right? The score's irrelevant. There's no. Let's practice this. Let's run the triangle. We're running this, running that, and it's not. It's score independent, dependent, whatever the word is. You're down by 20, do the same thing. You're up by 10, do the same thing. You're up by 20, the same thing, right? There's no sort of adjustment to the situation of what's going on.
Here's the thing. If we're up 10, if we were up 10 with 2 minutes left,
right,
we would bleed the clock like we always do, right?
And
now
we
we're down 16 with 3 minutes left. You got to speed the clock up. It's like the opposite. We do one, but not the other. And, the big question I had watching the game, because I watched the, a good portion of the Duke game. They beat SMU by a ton on the road where we lost.
Yeah.
When we go play Duke, I don't care if it's home or away. Like, what adjustments are we going to make? Because if we try to go out there and guard them with our pack line and run blocker mover and inside triangle, it's a 25-point loss. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to, slip a wrinkle and come out, we play blocker mover for the first 3 possessions. Then we go to a 2-3. Then we go to a 1-3-1. Then we press them a little bit. Like, I don't like our flexibility. It's like we've got rigor mortis, and that bothers me because when you have a team that's in flux like this, and there's some talent there, there's some good skilled players. Like, what are we going to do schematically from a game plan to try to shorten that delta between, where we think they're going to end up and where we're going to end up? And like, that's what I want to see from Ron. I know Ron's fighting. Let's see some adjustment beyond, like minor changes in the inside triangle, which is annoying to even say, Fresh, but you know what I mean? Like, what are the wrinkles to beat better teams? Because we can't play them straight up. So like, that's what I said.
We've said it the whole time. Implement a 1-3-1, implement a 2-3. The 2-3s, people think a zone, you have a zone buster. So let's say the kid Rain, was he Smith, the left-hander?
Yep.
Yeah.
He can make threes. You can shade a guy who's a 3-point shooter playing 2-3. You can know where he is, but you maybe rebound better, right? It's easier to rebound out of a 2-3, easier than a man-to-man when everybody's flying around. You got to find your guy, right? Or a 1-3-1. We never change our look, it seems, right? Defensively for other teams when they're quote unquote killing us. Oh, they're doing the same thing again. Let's do our same thing. Like, you never see them pull back and be, wait, we can't run right now because they're in a zone, right? Remember how the way we played. Pull back, they're in a zone, let's change our offense. So they never have to change. When a team is on a roll, they never need to adjust to us at this point.
Yeah, we don't have the wrinkle. And then you look back one game ago, down 14, NC State, we ran our stuff, and we pulled out a win tonight. It goes the other way, so it's kind of hard to say.
Well, I would say this. I know where you're going with that, T-Dub, but like that, we went on that run with like 14 minutes left against NC State. When you're down 14 with 3 minutes left, like, and we inbound the ball and we're jogging the ball up, like legitimately jogging, not pushing, not setting pin downs. Like, I'd rather have IMAC take 6 threes in the last 3 minutes coming off pin downs than
I get it.
Yeah,
right.
There's like a down 10 urgency that we're lacking. It's just we play this.
It's the 2-minute drill for basketball.
Yeah, right. When we need more possessions, we still are playing the same reduce the possession game.
We're playing the right way, right?
Right. It's tough. I mean, you look at the score, 70-50. Does it make a difference? I don't know. But yeah, I agree. There's no wrinkle to be like, all right, what we're doing isn't working tonight. Let's try this, like the Syracuse press kind of thing. Like, you get out of your zone, you try something different. We just don't do that. I wonder why that would be. You're right. That's a great press conference question to be like, hey, what are we going to do?
Yeah. The press conference question is, Ron, was there any thought to going to any kind of a pressure defense in the front court when you were down 14 with 2 minutes left or 3 minutes left?
Right.
Like, I don't even know if we have that package. And that's what I don't care if we go out there and we don't execute well. We've still got Division I athletes. Like, maybe you create 2 or 3 turnovers and you lose by 12, but at least the guys start to get comfortable with it. I don't know if we even have that in the repertoire. And that's ill-advised, I think, to not have that hurry up offense or that prevent defense, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guarantee you, and I was going to say this pre-game, but we were talking about other stuff, more important stuff like family. But this game, what I saw on paper from Louisville was they were like kind of an offensive juggernaut in a way, like their guards. So I guarantee you we spent all of our time on defense. The pack line, right? But not the other stuff like an adjustment, or if they start going downhill, can we do a zone or get back? I don't know, or anything offensively. NC State game was kind of impressive to me the second half, how we kind of freelance and guys changed their thing and we got going. But I didn't see any of that
happen tonight. Yeah.
It didn't happen tonight. It was tough. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was. I mean, our guys did not have it. Definitely, the range wasn't there tonight. We didn't shoot well. We just didn't have it. It just didn't look right. And I'm guessing Louisville had a lot to do with it, with some of their length and athleticism. And we just came up short in every way.
They keep coming in waves. I don't know the answer to that. Have?
Yeah, I want to see. So if I was playing against us, I'd be fine giving up. What did Rhodey have? 16 tonight? Might be his career high.
Yeah, 16.
Okay, I think that's his career high. I'll let Rhodey get 16 every game if we can hold IMAC to 12 or 13, and then everybody else to single digits, and we're going to score 50, which is what we did tonight. And it's rare when the leading scorer goes off and then another guy like goes off. That's when you get a win, like against NC State. But what I think is going to happen is you're going to see people really continue to focus on IMAC and say, as long as he doesn't go for 20, we're okay. Let Rhodey get his, 14, 12, 16, whatever it is.
Right. You get whatever you get.
You live with that.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And shout out Rhodey though. Beginning of the year, we were like, if he's our player, if he's going to play minutes, we're going to be bad. And he looks good. He's changed. He's more aggressive. He's getting in the lane. So that's an improvement. That silver lining, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's played well this year, and I get on him about all the pointing and all that stuff. But he's played well, and he's shooting really good percentages, and you can tell it's hard on him because he's got to bring the ball up, and then he's making these shots. So we'll give him a shout out. I just think if he's your leading scorer night in, night out, you're going to be below 500, and I think that's what teams are going to focus on.
Yeah, that's fair. If he, I mean, it seems like you could see a world where we put it together with Saunders, IMAC playing well, and then Rhodey contributing like this. Yeah, Kofi, Sharma, Murray.
Yeah,
You got some potential there to like do something, but it obviously didn't happen tonight. But you can see glimpses of it. Whether or not we can do it consistently is a whole nother thing. But there seems to be something there.
A West Coast trip coming out to you, T-Dub. Everyone's coming out to see you.
I know. Finally, I don't have to travel 3,000 miles to see a game. I get two or 30 minutes away each game. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. They come out. I'm sure nobody else in the Bay Area cares, but I'll be there.
Oh, there's UVA people out there for sure.
That's a brutal trip for the guys, man. Right, Hav? That's a tough trip for the player. For the players, that's a tough trip, man.
Well, it's a tough trip for sure, but the game time, like a 7:00 game time.
We have 11 p.m.
They play at 11 p.m. East Coast game, East Coast time. That's hard.
Our guy, Two Guard, says, you act like this is new. We always played this way. We never adjust to the flow of the game or show urgency. The difference is this. We had better players to hide our staff weakness. Facts.
No, I hear you. But this is not new. We've been talking about even with Tony for the past 3 years, we've been talking about like when you're down, you got to press. Yeah. You got to like change it up, speed up the game. We've got to get easy buckets. It's not new. It's just a different coach, but Two's always got good takes, and I'm glad he's on there. What's up, Two? Happy New Year.
Get him too. Kev with Forrest. Yeah, that's right. Forrest, Kevin, William, a bunch of our crew is going to come out to the Cal.
Oh, that's cool.
Stanford games, and we got some things cooking at least out here while the ACC moved west. It's so bizarre.
Is Stanford still in the same
more than
gym
3 years?
They have or no? Do they have
What's that?
Does Stanford still play in the same gym as back in the day?
Yep.
It was more of a gym, right?
Yeah, a pavilion. I think it's Pauley Pavilion. It's tiny. Floor shakes when everyone starts cheering. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah. Neither team is great this year. I think Cal has Steph Marbury's son and
oh, really?
Yeah, they have Marbury's kid, and then what's his name transferred from Stanford, Pedro Stojakovic, his son.
That's right.
I think he's Andre Stojakovic. He plays for Cal now, but he played for Stanford last year, which I find pretty hilarious.
They're close, right? In high school, I visited both, and seemed like they were pretty close.
Yeah, they're like an hour away across the bay from each other. So, I'm right in the middle. I'm 30 minutes away from each. Two Guard says, "What's good? Happy holidays, blessings." Yes, Two Guard. Appreciate you jumping on, man. Enjoy it. Get them too. So yeah, we'll see how the support is. I think it'll be surprising. I think there'll be some decent UVA fans showing up.
I agree. Yeah,
I'm excited to see how we come out. I think they're leaving early because of the storm that's coming, so they're going to be out here for like almost a week. Just kind of wild.
Oh, really?
Right?
Yeah, the storm. I think there's a big storm on Monday, so we'll see. We'll see when they actually leave. They might be leaving tomorrow.
They're still out of school, right? School is not back in session, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Yeah, it goes forever, remember?
There might be an extra week off for them, but
T-Dub, Stanford's like pretty good, right? They're like 9-4 and 9-3 or something.
Yeah, both teams are decent.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how they're not great though. I mean, no, obviously no one in the ACC outside of Duke is lighting the world on fire, but Yeah, it should be a pretty good matchup, I would say.
Fresh and I had some tangles with Stanford back in the day. Remember Fresh?
We did. Yeah,
Adam
we went
Keefe.
out there and we got demolished.
Adam
But I
Keefe
think
and
he-
Brevin Knight. Brevin Knight, right?
No,
Adam
no,
Keefe
no. We were
destroyed us.
who was the guy? Keith.
Adam
No.
Keefe.
Yeah, Adam Keefe.
Adam Keith. He gave TJ like 38.
Yeah, he was tough.
And the next year, so that was our third year, our third year,
Yep.
second year. They came to Charlottesville the next year. It was on my birthday, December 5th, 1992. I turned 22, and I had 5 threes. I was 5 or 7 from 3 at home. But it was a
Was that
noon
the
game.
appendix
They
game?
came to us, it was noon. So they're playing at like 9 in the morning.
It's good.
And-
That's a great move. So on the scheduling, give us a real
Yeah.
home court advantage. Make them tip
But
off
they
at 9
crushed
a.m.
us out there at that little bullshit gym. I remember.
Fresh, was that the appendix game?
No, that was my our junior year. My third year. No, everything I shot went in, and I was like player of the game. And Mike Montgomery, the coach of Stanford, who recruited me in high school, he came out to me. He's like, Doug, I guess we made a mistake. I'm like, yeah, you did. Good night.
Yeah.
But that was
That's great. I love
yeah,
it.
it was,
Yeah, so hopefully we can turn this thing around. I know on the road is always tough, but we'll see. Fingers crossed the guys can put it together. I think Forrest is coming out really for the Stanford game where they also have a Indian guy. They call it the Brown Baller Super Bowl with Ishan on our side and Stanford having. So that'll be fun. I'm excited to see what happens there.
Good stuff.
Big time. All right. Anything else? Anything else top of mind? Otherwise, Happy New Year, everyone. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, much love. Go
great.
Who's West Coast trip. Let's go.
That's right. See you soon.
let's go. Get out there soon, quick, guys. Like
Go Who's.